the spending spree continues. Hunter Henry, 3-year contract. This one took me by surprise. I figured they were done with the tight ends after they signed Jonnu Smith on Monday. That's not the case, though. They had another one. We're getting a harken back to Gronk and Hernandez here with the 2 tight end sets and the 12 personnel. Yep. We're going to get into all those details here in a second. But first, just your initial reaction. Were you as surprised as I was about the fact that Hunter Henry is now a New England Patriot?
Well, I think I said it to you, unfortunately, off the air. I think either right before or right after we were live yesterday that now watch them go sign Hunter Henry. And then I kind of thought about it and I was like, yeah, let's see them go sign Hunter Henry, because as we talked about yesterday, right? Jonnu Smith is more like he's an untapped potential signing. It's upside. It's what can they turn him into? It's how do they use him to maximize his effectiveness? And everybody, apparently I'm the Hunter Henry guy. I didn't realize I was as in on him as some people thought, because people were tweeting at me. I actually, I always thought great player. I always thought he's a little overrated, but great player. But my favorite thing about the Hunter Henry signing isn't like adding Hunter Henry on his own. Great signing in a bubble. You sign a good player. I thought they got him at a good price. Awesome.
Sure.
My favorite part about it, though, is the context of all the other moves they've made, because having Hunter Henry, having that traditional in-line, up-the-seam tight end, just totally unlocks new potential for what they can do with Jonnu Smith and how they can love Jonnu Smith. It's complementary football in the offseason. I think that might be, by definition, peak Bill Belichick. Complementary signings. But, yeah, I was stoked. I don't know if you saw the video of Zolak and Bertrand reacting on 98.5. I had a similar reaction that Mark did, screaming, no way, no way.
Yeah.
This a great signing, and it makes the Jonnu Smith signing even better. So they got a twofer with this one.
Yeah, I also feel like it makes the Nelson Aguilar signing and the Kendrick Bourne signing a little bit makes more sense, because I think we came on the show yesterday and I wanted to be excited about Jonnu Smith. I think it's a good signing. I was relatively excited about it, right? But I still felt like they were kind of missing that top guy, right? It still felt like they needed more. And we mentioned that.
Well, we talked yesterday about like the receiver.
Right. So we mentioned maybe going through the draft for like a Jalen Waddle or something like that to get another pass catcher, because it still felt like they were missing that number one guy. But now it doesn't, because you have Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, who are just 2 great complementary pieces, as you mentioned, as kind of this weapon, this offensive weapon of a force of both guys together making things happen for defenses. Now Nelson Aguilar becomes kind of your third option in the offense, or maybe even the fourth option if you want to factor in Jacoby Myers into the equation, right? And things start to make a little bit more sense in terms of the hierarchy of the offense. I think that what you mentioned too about the complementary pieces, it's just so telling that the Patriots are building an actual team here. This is not going out to spend just to spend. Bill Belichick's not playing fantasy football. He's not playing Madden, right? He's making very smart decisions of how he is spending his money. And the main thing with Hunter Henry and Jonnu is that, okay, you have this offensive line. I know they still have to figure out the center position, but they have this offensive line that is going to be a bully, right? You got Trent Brown, Michael Onwenu, Shaq Mason. You got these huge guys on the O-line that can really run block and really blow guys off the ball. Now you got a stable of running backs. They bring back Cam Newton. I don't know if he's going to necessarily be the quarterback, but I think it's going to be somebody mobile at the quarterback position. You have a stable of running backs with Sony and Damian Harris leading the way. And now you got these 2 tight ends. And the possibilities off of play action, off of misdirection, off of using the run game as sort of the main component of the offense, and then working off of that, you can build so many complements into that, right? And they should be a team that is close to the league leaders in terms of play action percentage, right? This should be Hunter Henry up the seam, Jonnu over the middle, whatever they want to do, to make those guys work in terms of route combinations and route trees and stuff like that off of play action. And that's going to just open up so much, especially when you have Big Mike and Shaq Mason pulling in your grill. You're going to be like, whoa, I got to step up into this gap. And there goes Hunter Henry by you up the seam, right? So one thing that Albert Breer threw out there that I think is really interesting was that the Patriots had a conversation with both Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry and sold them on that Gronk and Hernandez offense, right? And said, we can do this again with you guys. And I think what the Patriots looked at the landscape, we talked a lot about wide receivers and stuff like that. And before free agency, I think they saw that they could get similar production in terms of run blocking ability, receiving ability from those two guys for the price of probably what Kenny Golladay is going to get in 1 year, right? Pretty close to the top of the wide receiver market. And there's a reason why the wide receivers are not moving right now. There's a bunch of wide receivers that still remain unsigned, and it's because they're asking for a big amount of money, and there's just not a lot of cap space left in the league to be able to give Kenny Golladay $20 million a year, to give Will Fuller $16, $17 million a year. Those contracts just haven't been there for those players because these teams don't have the cap space, and the Patriots went for the value at the tight end position instead. So they end up paying Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith something, like $11, $12 million a year, and they get two guys that can be really good within the framework of their offense instead of overpaying for one of those name brand wide receivers.
Yeah, and somebody mentioned Josh McDaniels, and I think now all the focus has to go to him, right? And he got left out of the coaching search and all of that, and this is the year. If he wants to get back in that spotlight, he's going to have a chance this year. This is set up perfectly for his style of offense, for what he wants to do. It's just going to be about putting the pieces together, getting everybody in the right place. I don't know, we'll see what happens with the quarterback, but pending that, I don't know if you could ask for a more Josh McDaniels offense in terms of the personnel you'll have out there, the personnel he'll have at his disposal. So, it's going to be really interesting kind of to see what he draws up. And I'm wondering, do we get a preseason this year? And right now the NFL is saying that the offseason, the OTAs, et cetera, that's still going to be virtual as it stands right now. So the preseason is kind of the next big question. And this is kind of what dooms some of these super teams sometimes. I'm not saying the Patriots are quite there, but when you bring in a lot of additions at once, chemistry becomes the issue and just familiarity with the system. I'm now wondering, are they going to get a chance to kind of try some of this new stuff? And are we going to get a chance to see it in a preseason? I know they'll have practice, but it's live reps against another team are different. Or are they going to hit the ground running week one? It's not going to make or break things, but that's kind of where I noticed my mind going today is, when's the first time we get to see this? Is it going to be in late July, or is it going to be in early September?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. And I think what's cool about that is that oftentimes the Patriots don't want to show their hand in the preseason. When we go out there in training camp, I don't know if there will be fans allowed back at training camp in Gillette Stadium like there normally is, and the practice fields behind the stadium. If there's not, last year it was a group of reporters that got to go, and myself included, luckily, and we got to watch these things and report on these things, but it wasn't, we didn't see a ton of what they were really going to do with Cam. We saw glimpses of the read option type of stuff that they might do, or the RPO type of stuff that they might do, but it wasn't, they came out week one and surprised us all, even the guys that were at training camp, right? So I think that there is still going to be some secrets that are going to be left uncovered until in the season. We've talked a lot about Josh McDaniels over the last 2 days, though, because I think that that's a really key part about this. He has Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith and Nelson Aguilar. I think those three guys are enough for this offense to be productive now, right? I think that they definitely can be a top 10 offense depending on the quarterback play. And we're going to get to the quarterbacks in a second, because that's the other element. We were texting about this earlier, is I'm not worried about how good of a signing Hunter Henry or Jonnu or Nelson Aguilar is, but is the quarterback going to be able to get them the football, right? So that those two things I think are really now the next important things in this discussion. Is Josh McDaniels up for this, right? Is he able to scheme up ways to get these guys involved? And is the quarterback situation going to be good enough, whether it's Cam or somebody else, that they're going to be able to move the football anyways? I just find it hard to believe that Bill Belichick just went out and spent almost $300 million and counting in free agency to have Cam Newton be one of the least accurate quarterbacks in the NFL throwing to all of these high-priced receivers, right? This doesn't feel like an offense that wants to kind of do that. So I'm really interested to see what they do moving forward.